Well, welcome to our very first tasting table of 2023.
Wow, I didn't know this was the first one.
Yes, I know the pressure is on. But we have Nate, who, he didn't come all the way from California just for this, but we like to think he did.
I probably would have, but yes.
So you said you've created a mango vacation?
Yeah, so I've taken my family on a mangocation. I've been a lifelong mango fan, but have never been to Florida, and certainly never been here during mango season. So I've basically spent my my mango experiences, all been, well, obviously, Tommy Atkins, though I abandoned that long ago. And then Atolfo and Hayden, the sort of things you can find at a grocery store. Mm-hmm. Atolfo was really, I give that a lot of credit for being a wonderful gateway drug, because it is readily available in so many places, and it's actually, from my perspective, a perfectly decent variety, and it's got kind of a neat lifespan, at different stages of ripeness. But then one day I went to an Indian neighborhood, of which there's a few in Los Angeles, and was able to get a big box of Kent's, and that was like life-changing. I was like, okay, I'm obsessed with mangoes now. I can't go back. And so yeah, I've been following your channel and watching a lot of your videos for a long time, and this has been inspirational. I got last year I planted a Valencia pride tree in my little condo backyard, and the climate in Los Angeles is it's pretty good. It's not perfect. You like during the summer I have to spritz the leaves every morning because of the dry air. You have to sort of create your own little microclimate of humidity, and I had to put up shade, blockers, because the sun can be overly harsh. But actually, I got a ton of bloom this year. I'm really excited, and there's a lot of little tiny fruits. I feel like you'd probably tell me the tree's too small to produce fruit safely, but I couldn't bring myself to cut any panicles off because I'm just too excited. But
yeah, it's hard to do. One thing that I've heard about Southern California is that if the tree survives, a seedling will fruit very quickly, and because of the harsh conditions.
Yeah.
Same thing in like Arizona too. It's a matter of keeping it alive during the the harsh weather. And but yeah, they have. I have reports anyway of seedlings fruiting in like 3 years.
Yeah. Well, that's wow. From an actual seedling, that's super cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm glad you made it here. And,
me too.
Hopefully we can at least offer a few different tastes for you, that things that you haven't tried yet. We've got a big old pile of mangoes, so I hope you're hungry.
Wow, look at this.
So we'll start with this. This is Pim Seng Mun. Have you heard that?
No, I certainly have heard of it. I think mostly thanks to you, but I've certainly never tasted it.
Yeah, people like it at all stages of ripeness. This is pretty much totally ripe, but it's also eaten green, for Thai sweet kind of green mango.
That's delightful. Wow. Now I get one sort of like high level variety I was able to find is I went to, shout out to Artesia, California, which is in Orange County and is a thriving Indian American neighborhood, and I was able to buy a box of Kesar mangoes that had been flown in in the past 48 hours, and it was like $60 and worth every penny, and there is just ever so slightly a subtle hint of that Kesar flavor I'm getting in this, very subtly. But yeah, definitely reminds me of the Atolfo, because I think this is another Southeast Asian.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a Thai variety, and it seems like a like a more fruity kind of a flavor to me. Not really heavy on traditional mango flavors, but it does have some hints of different things, like you said, the quesar.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's absolutely delicious. Wonderfully smooth texture and everything.
Yep.
Wow.
So we got to move on to our next thing here. We'll go for this one.
Ooh, nice orange, bright orange color. Look at how smooth that is. Yeah, it's amazing. Very juicy. Milder flavor than the last one. Well, if you get towards I think the stem end, it concentrates. Yeah, that's like a refreshing drink on a hot summer day right there.
Yeah, this one, if we had eaten this yesterday, it would have had more of a punch. This is it becomes more mild as it gets riper.
Oh, interesting.
But this one is Angie.
Oh, cool. So just last night, my experience with South Florida mangoes, I've been eating them for about 12 hours. And last night I had an Angie from Pine Island, and it tasted very different. It tasted way more, it had almost I think what you guys call like an Indian spice to it. And it tasted more like that quesar mango, and had a stronger flavor. It actually looked quite a bit different from this too. It was like greener and darker. So boy, amazing you can have that much variation in the same variety.
Yeah, they have completely different growing conditions down there in the Homestead area.
Oh, really?
And so that affects the look, and it can affect the look and the flavor of the fruit.
So just 60 miles difference makes that.
Yeah, we're on top of a sand ridge here, and they are, there's tons of limestone all over there. I mean, you have perhaps like 3 or 4 inches of soil in some areas, and then it's rock underneath.
And is it the mineral content which will have an effect on the flavors?
That also, they have a different, they're more likely to get more rain more often than we are. And so that affects the flavor too.
Oh, so,
interesting. Just a lot of things.
Super cool. Wow, you can just go on a mango tour and just keep getting the same varieties, but try all the...
Right, yeah. And also different level of ripeness. So, this one yesterday might have been closer to what you tasted in Homestead,
Wow.
I think this one looks like the same thing, right? We'll go for Glen.
Wonderful. Glen is a seedling of Hayden,
correct.
One of the classic Florida mangoes.
Yep.
See, it sounds like I know a lot, but literally everything I've learned is from watching her videos. So
I doubt it, but
yeah, I feel like Glen is like, it's Hayden 2.0. It's
doesn't have the fiber.
It doesn't have the fiber. The thing is with Hayden, is I sometimes feel like the flesh is like overly soft, like within the fibers, and maybe that's just in comparison to the fibers. But this is like way more consistent. It's a little denser, I guess you could describe it, but similar flavors. Yeah, that's delicious, and also it also retained its parents' beautiful exterior
the
color.
There.
Is that what you called them? The little white dots, lenticels.
Yeah, like the mango equivalent of a pore.
Oh, cool. The mango equivalent of
a pore, like a
Oh, okay. Wow.
Some varieties, when they're ready to pick, you can see little sap beads like coming out of the lenticels.
Oh, actually from lenticels.
Yeah.
So not just sap beads coming from the stem,
right?
But actually sweating of sorts through the fruit skin. That's cool. This one's a little riper, and the flavor's a little it's more intense. Flesh is very soft. Yeah, it's interesting. Like in some ways, this reminds me a little bit of the Kents I've had. Again, I'm comparing this all to grocery store mangoes. You know, that's my frame of reference. Mm-hmm. But the flesh is so much softer than the Kents I've found. You know, like even when they get a little more ripe, you know, there's still like a kind of a firmness to Kent flesh, which I'm guessing makes them more suitable for shipping.
Well, I think probably what's causing that, or at least in part, is that they have to pick them, you know, greener to ship them, and so it just hasn't developed as much on the tree.
Right. So
because Kent, you know, when we grow it, it's not a firm.
Interesting.
Mango. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So part of do mangoes that ripen off the tree, are they apt to have like a different texture like that? Are they?
Yeah, and you know, also they haven't been developing the sugars, and so if you have a homegrown Kent kind of thing, it will be a lot sweeter than the one you probably grow at the store.
Ah, right.
At the store. This particular mango that we just tasted is Tess Pollock.
Oh, an original, a truly tropical original.
Well, the original tree was a mile away, but that died, and so we have the oldest trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah.
That was delicious.
So let's see what we have. Go for Super Julie.
Whoa. So I have yet. Okay. So the Robert is here. Robert took me out behind his shop and gave me a Zill mango out of a grocery cart, which was a cool experience for any mango fan. But I believe this is a Zill variety.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and that's the only one I've had. So I've been excited to try the much lauded Zill types.
So do you know what variety it was that you tasted?
It was an actual Zill mango.
Okay, so the Zill mango, was it a small mango?
Yeah, it was small.
Yeah, that is named Zill, but they didn't develop it.
Really? Wow. So the most famous mango developers in the world, they have a mango called Zill, and they yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they heard about, their original grove was very close to here, maybe a mile away, and they heard of a tree in Lake Worth, which is maybe 10, 15 miles away, and that had really good mangoes, and so the patriarch, Lawrence, went to that particular home, and he talked to the owner and tasted the mangoes, thought they were great, and so he said, I want to buy your tree.
just not take a sample,
right? Yeah,
to graft,
tree.
Actually dig it up and take it with him.
And it was a huge tree. I mean, it required a tree spade and
I'll tell you,
a tractor trailer, kind of open trailer.
Those Zills are ambitious. I showed again, one of my favorite videos you've done is that talk with Gary, where he goes through the 10,000 seedlings to the 2,000 trees to the how he came up with those. Eventually came up with his varieties, and it's those Zills. They mean business.
So this one is Let's see, probably at the stem end. Yeah, it usually has more of a flavor than it does right now.
Yeah, this is mild and perfectly lovely. You know, when you eat a like okay mango here, it's like the best mango I've had in like an entire year, like outside of South Florida. It's just it was like, yeah, it's there's just no comparison.
So we have tasted Julie and Super Julie side by side, and they're basically the same taste.
Flavor profile?
Yeah, but yeah, the mangoes look different, and the Super Julie is a little bigger than the average Julie mango
in size.
too. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's sort of classic Indian flavor kind of thing. This one we already had. That one's a duplicate. So we'll try this one. There are two of the same, but we'll try the riper one first, and then we will try two different levels on this. We've got this one to do. This is okay. So let's do Seacrest first. This is overripe. It looks like possibly, but we'll see.
Very sweet.
There's no off flavors at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Its personality kind of reveals itself. Like at first, my first bite was hard to tell what was unique about it, but after a few seconds, it kicks in. Yeah, it's very sweet. It's got a little bit of fiber. And yeah, this is like this would be a great mango to like introduce someone to mangoes. It's like, you know, like a maybe a kid or something. You know, there's nothing too strange
wild
about
and
it.
Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, a lot of times the Seacrest has like an orange flavor to it.
Yeah, I think that is what I'm picking up, especially towards the skin. Yeah, it's subtle. It sort of comes on after a little delay. Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I like all these varieties, but yeah, that's nice. So this is one of the ones that has not yet been named. I've been trying to.
Is this an original of yours?
Yeah, sort of. You know, it's just a seedling that I grafted onto another plant, and so. Trying to evaluate it.
Very juicy. It's got nice variation from one end to the other.
Yeah, that stem end is always the one that has the most punch to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love mangoes that, depending on where you eat them, they taste different, but all very good. Yeah, it's cool.
So we'll try the little bit less ripe version.
Oh, is this the same?
Same fruit.
Same one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's got a little more flavor to it. That's a good one. Yeah, I'd keep that graft around for a little while.
Yeah, it's nice when you have two different levels of ripeness.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, this first one that we tasted had started to wrinkle, and so it loses some of the acidity and stuff, and that the
if
acidity
it's
gives
wrinkly?
it sort of a punch to it. It has some more perky flavors.
Yeah, no, this has got some nice perky flavors. Like with those Atolfos, they take on a wildly different characteristic when they start to get wrinkly, and a good one. There's sort of like a thick butterscotch kind of mango. I've never let the South Florida mangoes wrinkle. Are there some South Florida mangoes that you like at that stage of ripeness, like when they start to get a little wrinkly, or?
There's certain ones that you can like enjoy then, but we usually eat them before they get to that stage. So,
right.
Yeah. Okay, so we have these mangoes left. We're gonna do this first.
Is there a strategy to the order here? Like wine, you start with the whites and you get like heavier as you go along?
I wish I could say I thought it out like that. Whoops, just leave it. No problem. We have others to say.
Yes.
More slices wanting to jump out.
Yeah, this one's very juicy, fairly mild. Yeah, kicks butt towards the stem end. Get a little tartness towards the stem end. That's really nice.
Yeah, this is St. Maui, and one of the things about St. Maui is that it doesn't really develop off flavors when it gets like overripe.
Oh, great.
So this is not exactly overripe, but it's not underripe either. So it does have. If we had eaten this yesterday, it would have had a little bit more punch to it.
Okay.
But it's amazing because a lot of mangoes, after you hit a certain point, they start to like go downhill. But this is just a good solid mango.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think with a mango like this too, I think I'm learning in the 12 hours that I've been inundating myself with Florida mangoes, one of the best 12 hours of my life, is that like when you lack of a better word, butcher a mango, to eat it, make sure you get all the little nooks and crannies and all the little edges, and you go right up against the skin, and you try up around, right around the stem, and you get, right around the seed, because it's sort of like some of these mangoes reveal their uniqueness in those margins, in terms of flavors.
Yeah, a lot of times there's different flavors in different parts of the fruit, and if it's especially a wonderful flavor. With me, it looks like a piranha has, eaten it. The seed is completely cleaned off.
Yeah, right.
I'm done.
Yeah, I know. On some mangoes, that means you're going to spend some time with floss afterwards, but it's worth it.
Maintaining those spacing between your teeth is important.
I know.
Right?
I know.
So we've got Dos Mas here. This is our very first of this particular variety, Creme Brûlée. So it is going to be
very first?
Yeah, very first fruit that we're
of the
right
season?
Now. No, ever.
Ever?
Yeah.
So is this the first time you've?
Yeah, I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh my. Okay. Well, I think we all want to know what Chris's opinion is here. That's pretty good.
Yep, very melt in your mouth kind of consistency.
Very sweet.
It has a little acidity, so I don't remember creme brulee having acidity to it.
It's got a little bit, yeah. I think that's the kind of an orange flavor acidity. I mean, I think that's arguably one of the best we've had today.
Yep, this is very nice.
Yeah. You know, I'm tasting.
We don't want to offend these
I'm tasting. I'm tasting a lot of orange, and I'm saying that as I'm staring at the fruit here, and it kind of resembles an orange. So you sometimes wonder the psychology involved. If because it looks like an orange, am I thinking it's orange?
Yeah.
Like.
Yep, the eyes definitely do some of the tasting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Keep that one around. Where did you acquire the creme brulee from?
That is actually one of Gary Zill's varieties.
Oh, wow.
So it's just...
I was so excited about trying a legendary Gary Zill variety. I can see why.
Well, Super Julie's also his. So
right.
I got that. So this one is of unknown origin, and we'll taste two different levels of ripeness of that.
This is reminding me more of like a very, you know, a well ripened Atolfo. Candy sweet. I get kind of Southeast Asian vibes from this. Yeah, I have a 3-year-old son, and this is another one I would give him. Like I feel like this is like eating basically nature's candy.
Yeah, this one has been very popular, but we have not named it yet. It's just been labeled Mound so far, and
labeled Mound.
Yeah, because it grows on the mound here.
You know, good marketable titles I think is important for mangoes. You know.
Yeah, the Mound is not one of them.
Mound might not be the most. You know, if you had a mango marketing team, they might suggest something different. But.
Yeah, you know, thinking about possibly, you know, because this is a Florida mountain, so it might be like, you know, Monticello or something like that.
Exactly. That sounds a little more sellable.
So this is the same fruit, just not quite as ripe.
Yeah, I mean, this is super good. Is there any Southeastern Asian
Yeah, there has to be,
here?
but I do not know what seed I planted ages ago for this one.
Wow, so you planted the seed yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's like going to a winery and the winemaker like lets you in on their secret stash. Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, we think it's has both Indian and Southeast Asian heritage.
Do they readily, like if you take a mango from Southeast Asia, you take a mango from India that look very different, taste very different, grow, you know, have different growth pattern, you know, it's like both ends of the spectrum of like Mangifera indica, right? I guess they all are indica, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and will they just happily crossbreed with each other all day long, or?
Yeah, I mean, of course they have to flower at the same time.
Right.
So that's, and be close to each other, because a lot of, you know, if a tree is by itself, the chances that some, you know, pollinator is going to fly from, you know, 400 yards away or something are pretty low. So, you know, you got to get the flowers close to each other.
But biologically speaking,
yeah, it works. Yeah.
Super cool. I mean, that's a great way to get some interesting varieties.
That combined with patience.
Yes, much patience.
So, anyway, these are just duplicates here, and I was wondering, I mean, you've already sort of given us your summary of
musings,
what you like, but what were the standouts?
Well, the one we just had, I think is right up there. That Creme Brûlée, I think, is something special for sure. I mean, they're all, you know, I mean, absolutely not a bad one in the batch. I actually had a Malika last night that was like genuinely like not super good. I think it probably they probably messed up the ripening process or something, because I know Malikas can be a little fickle with that.
Yeah, we've hardly picked any Malika, but it's a matter of picking it at the right time and ripening it off the tree the rest of the ways.
Yeah.
Usually. But with that particular variety, it matters a lot what soils and conditions it's grown in. Because apparently in certain areas the fruit are just not good, and other areas they're great. So.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the only mango I've had in South Florida where I was like, oh, this is like mediocre. But yeah, I mean, these are all amazing. Creme Brûlée was awesome. The one we just, thank you. The one we just had, your new one, Mound, was I think right up there with any of these. I thought the Angie was interesting because it was so wildly different than the one I had last night. Thank you. It's good to get your production value details just right. Nobody wants to hear the muffled audio. Gosh, I would say, yeah. I mean, Glen is just like rock solid. You know, if like I feel like so far, if you want to like have one mango to represent South Florida, Glen is a terrific choice. Yeah, I don't know, not a bad one in the bunch. How do you feel?
Yeah, I like them all. I mean, I always like the new varieties, or at least. Well, if they're decent, of course, because they're a change of pace, and so
totally,
that it's sort of fun. I mean, the one that we tasted today that is not named is, it's got a little bit of fiber near the seed and stuff, but I do like that flavor, and the soon to be formerly known as Mound Mango is good. But
I think all you need with that. Mango is a name, and I think you've got one of the best here.
So I appreciate your all of your input on this. I mean, I know it was a big job, but you were up to the task,
Oh, yes, the hard work of eating absolutely delicious mangoes. Well, I just want to thank you for all the content you create, because it helps people like me who don't have access to mangoes, who don't live in these specific climates.
Not yet. I mean, you're working on growing your own.
I know. I'm pioneering in the San Fernando Valley. I don't know of anyone else who has mango trees in San Fernando Valley. I'm sure there's a few here and there, but it takes a little extra work. But I'm excited. Like I said, it's flowered like crazy, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me into your magical grove.
Oh, thank you, Nate. It's nice meeting you, and nice to share some mangoes with you.
Yeah.